Okay, good morning. This is day 34 of making videos as a human with schizophrenia and trying to improve camera presence as a life skill and practice that. I started that for a library class and to try to get better for library work. And I'm not sure if I'm going to still be doing that, but I figure I need to be comfortable on camera. And every day give a little introduction to give people an idea about what these are about. And I came to the realization while writing my book that I am an itty bitty. If I was going to describe myself to others, I'd describe myself as an itty bitty writer who experiences schizophrenia. It is a reality to be experienced. Much of the experience can be chalked up to coming into contact with systems and operations that use highly advanced or modern technology. I am just a one-time semi-activist. I am now a brain-damaged author of a book. I have not published a book. I've written the book. I've put it online, and it is about political surveillance technology in society and psychological operations. And it also discusses a little bit about my thought processes and why I might have been targeted with schizophrenic targeting. And this targeting has put my brain into a schizophrenic function. A lot of people talk about the targeted individual program when they discuss these things, but I use schizophrenia because I think we should examine schizophrenia. I'm actually the recipient of an organized political warfare, what NATO calls cognitive war, and what the chief of Indian intelligence, a former chief of Indian intelligence, discusses as neurostrike weaponry, which is what the Chinese term their neurological weapons. And I believe America has these weapons as well. And the chief of Indian intelligence also stated that when he was discussing this, that common people were the common targets of these weapons. And so, that would explain why I am targeted. Okay, so I was gonna get into a little bit about my wolf book, my Rise of Wolf 8 book, and it discusses in there that I was thinking it was kind of crazy, but like it was discussing how when they were originally bringing the wolves down from Canada to Yellowstone to introduce them into the Yellowstone natural landscape, natural ecosystem, that the they had to be guarded. The wolves had to be guarded by police or bodyguards, basically, because they were being threatened. Like there was death threats on the wolves, and I thought, how crazy is that? So somebody would like put a death threat on wild animals, and that's nuts to me. But maybe they had a chicken die, or maybe they had a family member die. Or, I mean, I'm not excusing it. I just tried to think like, how does someone get to that point? Okay, and thinking about this Yellowstone and the wolves and everything, I started remembering, and I was talking with my brother, and we were discussing like, oh, Montana, like we would like to see, he would like to see Montana. I've been to Montana one time, and it is true that Montana is like a big open sky country, and it is very beautiful. And Glacier National Park is up there. It's really amazing nature, and I definitely would like to get up there again and show him that. Now, when I went there, the glacier was still in operation, you know, natural operation or whatever. So I don't know if the glacier is even there anymore. I don't think it is, but I hope that it's still pretty up there. And yeah, the water was blue. I just remember when I went there, the colors were all just kind of amazing, and it was the most amazing, colorful piece of natural landscape I had ever seen when I went there. I still, Old Man Store was comparative to me, with that landscape up there, but still nothing has topped really Glacier, but things have come. close. Maybe I was just a little younger and I was a little more mesmerized by things. Maybe I'm become a little more jaded as I've gotten older about beauty and nature, but maybe I don't know. Then I also want to see Olympia National Park up in uh, the Seattle area or Washington area, and that looks pretty amazing to me. I still would like to go see that sometime, and so those are two in the Northwest I would like to see. And maybe that's an escape hatch to get to the Northwest or something because we're still discussing escape hatches here. But like, I love California. I think it's a really great place, and I definitely love California. But if you have an army of people setting fires or corporations that want to burn California, it seems like what's going on is somebody is trying to show us how weak California is. And like I said, like I've iterated before, I don't know if it's related to Israel and Palestine. I don't know if it's related to saber rattling against China. Like, be careful what you wish for, America. You cannot threaten war on the whole fucking world and then nobody returns you the favor. So that's my thought on that. And then you have the fact that you have like potentially, you know, people within your own society that are just so disgusted and they're willing to burn it down, and that's a precarious situation to be in. So I've said all these things, and but it does seem like somebody's trying to show California. There's another fire in Camarillo. There was a fire in Sepulveda Basin. There's a fire by the Getty. There's a fire out here near me here yesterday, and it just seems like somebody's trying to show California that they are weak and that if they want it, if especially if this organization has an ability to manipulate the weather and create winds, and there's high winds going on in Ireland right now, which is where I wanted to go. It makes me wonder if that weird terrorist threat colonel on line on Substack that I had that conversation with, if he's like, I'll show you or something, and you're still a dumbass, buddy, because uh, I want to wring people's neck for starting fires, but I shouldn't be encouraged to start a war or to fight a war against people starting fires. Like, there has to be some sort of negotiation and whatever with between human beings while living on this earth. And so I don't think that we should. I think we should have surveillance for sure, and that we should arrest people for doing these things, and they should be locked up. But I don't think that I should go around shooting anybody because they started a fire. So it's still wrong for me for the whole world to encourage me to be violent towards people. So that's my opinion, and I'm still sticking to it. And the other guy's still a dummy. He was a dummy before. He's a dummy now. Okay, so I was looking online, and there's a show coming out with Kate Hudson about an owner of a sports team. I think it is. I think it's a comedy, and that reminded me that I thought the other day that maybe there's a boys' club against Jeanie Buss with the Lakers, because you see something like San Antonio traded the number 8 pick for to Minnesota, which is a rival of the Lakers, and that was for a pick that was 7 years in the future. It's an odd thing to trade a top 10 pick when you're in a rebuilding mode like San Antonio is. And so that was very bizarre. They could have even used the point guard. And then you see that the Suns just traded for 3 first-round picks from Utah for a pick 1 pick 7 years in the future. And you think like that's a little bizarre move. And it just seems like maybe and then you see Danny Ainge won't trade with the Lakers. You see all these people that don't want to trade with the Lakers, and I don't know, maybe Jeanie Buss is not pulling the trigger or whatever, but it just seems like we're not getting very good deals from people, and other people do seem to get the good deals. And so it makes you wonder if there's like a boys club against the Lakers, and then you see like some of these owners could be conservative, and Jeanie Buss was like, you look at her dad. Her dad moved from Salt Lake City to Los Angeles and was like a playboy guy or something, and so it makes you wonder, it's like, are there's conservative billionaires elsewhere in the country like not wanting to help the flashy debauchery LA or something? That's where my mind goes, like, because I don't run in these circles, so I don't really know what these guys are like, but it just makes me wonder a little bit. I don't know. I start to come up with my own crazy theories, totally removed from a situation. Okay, this reminds me that I was just reading right now and my note, and Charlie Sheen, when he said winning, he had this thing on Twitter or something, and he was like winning or whatever. He was mocking me, and that show, Two and a Half Men, mocked me. I was supposed to be the Alan character in that show, and it was a way to mock me, and uh, so Charlie Sheen said winning or whatever. He was kind of mocking me because I didn't think that the purpose of life was to be in some sort of weird rigged capitalist game, and or just any sort of game, like the gamification of our lives. And this was something that this is an idea that I had and that I was really against. I was just against competition in general. Like, we don't need to be competing with each other for things. Like, we need to cooperate, and we need to rearrange our whole outlook as human beings, and not we shouldn't elevate competition to the point where it dictates our lives. Like, losers die on the street and winners ride to the bank of $400 billion. It's stupid. That's my opinion. Like, competition, there's a place for competition in like some sports or board games or like little games or whatever, but not it's not the director of all life on earth. And we're doing it to the point where we're gonna die. We're killing the earth. So in any event, Steve Martin, Jack Black, and Owen Wilson made a movie about bird watchers that were in a competition with each other, and they supposedly found out that, like, I guess part of the movie was that they found out life was worth more than about winning, and so that was a bird watching movie. It was called. I'm trying to see what it was called, but I think it was called. I don't know what it's called, but I will have to watch that movie or whatever, because those guys are hilarious guys. So maybe they made a good movie together. And I'm interested in the topic, but people, this is what I talk about. Hollywood will sometimes take ideas that I have and create things. Maybe I've said it out loud, or maybe they've read my mind or whatever. And I don't mind it, to be honest. Like, if you want to take my ideas or my thought process and make shows out of it, it's sort of entertaining. But sometimes it's like targeted harassment. So, like, not everybody in Hollywood probably likes me or whatever. So some of them probably think like this guy's a joke or something. But some people like me, some people don't, and whatever. All right, so uh, I stopped caring about sports. And the moment that I stopped caring about sports, they started creating all these crazy disasters all over the world. And if I thought the hack was okay. I just stopped caring about sports, and then they can stop controlling me with these sports, the brain control and stuff. And as it turns out, I need to care about the sports, because if I don't care about the sports, then they'll try to make me care about the destruction of civilization and life. And so, I guess I need to really care about sports. So I'll start talking about sports a little bit here. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and stop today. This was kind of a weird one. I'm sorry about these things can't be warm and fuzzy, but it's not it's not really warm and fuzzy times. We got Nazis running the government. and we got weather warfare or arson and all this stuff.